Hello everyone, this is the unknown astrologer. Welcome to another episode of the Navmansha series. Today I will be stating what Pisces ascendant in the D9 chart does for your married life. मीन लगन अगर नवमांश में हो तो मैरिड लाइफ में एक्सपेक्टेशंस प्रोजेक्शंस और रियलिटी ऑफ द पार्टनर क्या होती है. So, as I said in the past, I will repeat the same thing again. If you haven't seen the first video of this series, which is Understanding Navmansh, I would recommend that you watch that video first and then come back to this one if you have Pisces rising in your D9 chart. Okay, so I've also mentioned in that first video, I'll just repeat that for the ones who have not seen that, is that Pisces is one of the four ascendants which present a challenging situation in married life. The four ascendants which are a part of this quadrant are Gemini, Virgo, Pisces and Sagittarius. And so what happens is that Pisces, as we all know, is the natural 12th house. So it shows two possible ways in which your married life can manifest. Number one, the person who has Pisces rising the ascendant may be somebody who is of the opinion that this legal form of alliance, legal or cultural marriage, which bounds two people together, which is kind of a bond, right, is not what he wants. Because Pisces does not have boundaries or does not believe in boundaries. So when you give them a legal contract, so they will not like that contract. So a lot of people who have Pisces Navmansha and who do not want to get married, maybe they will not be able to articulate it well कि मुझे शादी क्यों नहीं करनी, but the real reason is that they don't believe in these contracts and legalities around marriage, and hence they shy away from marriage. This is one way. In very modern cultures, Pisces is the sign which can opt for an open marriage in which two people are choosing to live together, but they also have other partners or different alliances in different ways. May not be sexual always, but other different mental, emotional alliances. Another way in which it can manifest is that the person who has Pisces rising the Navmansha chart lives in a dream world and thinks that marriage is a very rosy picture which he has painted in his head, and that will not come true in real life. So after marriage they will be most likely disappointed. Okay, so there are two ways. I'll just repeat it. One is the person who does not believe in legal contracts or does not believe in socio-cultural legality of marriage. So that person will not like to get married. In other countries, maybe these persons will just have a live-in partner or just have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and live their life without the legal contract. In India, that is not a possibility. It's a possibility, but very few people opt for that. So that is where the problem occurs. The other way in which it can manifest is that the person has a dream-like image of marriage, which never happens in reality. So after marriage they are disappointed in a big way. Okay, now there are certain situations in modern age in which these situations will still be there, but still the marriage can work. Like for example, if you look at the first argument which I said, that they do not believe, it's a boundary less sign. It is a sign of infinite possibilities and crossing the boundaries or breaching the boundaries. So in one way it can manifest in which people go for inter-religion or inter-caste marriages or marriage to a foreigner, or after marriage they go and settle in a different country. These things can somewhat justify the Pisces energy, and if the planetary placement is good, the marriage can work after that. It will depend largely on how Jupiter is placed and how Mercury is placed in the D9 and the D1 as well. It will depend on those things and the karakas. So, but there has to be a boundary breaching event in order to justify the large problem which the Pisces guy or the girl has, that they don't believe in boundaries and legality. So there has to be a breaching event which could be intercaste, which could be international kind of an alliance, or living abroad after marriage, or huge change in their existing circumstances that can somewhat justify the energy. So I'm not saying that energy पूरी justify इसी से हो जाएगी, ऐसा नहीं है. ये थोड़ा justification हो गया और planetary placements भी अच्छे हैं तो मैरिज चल जाएगी. Okay, this is not exactly the same situation when I say that they don't believe in legalities and boundaries. वो नहीं, but they don't believe, let's say, in getting married to somebody, but they get somewhat of a relief when they get married to a foreigner or an intercaste. Somewhat this skeleton of Pisces gets justified, and if the planetary placements are good, like Jupiter is well placed, the marriage can sustain. If the planetary placements are not good, even then, even after, I mean, in that case, even after the boundary breaching event happens, even then the marriage can fail after a few years if the placements are not good. Okay. Now, in the second event, in which I said that these people will be living in a dream-like situation, that can be justified if they get married to, or if they get married after they have become an artist, not earlier in life, but if they are into some kind of art and their art becomes recognized worldwide and then they get married. So this problem can be somewhat justified, but then we have to look at the planetary placements for support of the existing marriage in D1 and D9. So this is about the Pisces Lagna guy. Now what happens is that the 7th house, which is the partner of the Pisces ascendant person, becomes Virgo. So most of the problems which occurs after the marriage has happened is because of the Virgo person, because the Virgo person will be very argumentative. Okay, very argumentative, very critical, almost accusatory, and the more strong the Mercury is, the more critical nature will increase. It will not decrease in that case. So we need to have a weak Mercury. So because of this nature, that dream-like image of the marriage which the Pisces guy has is shattered, and then the marriage becomes sour. The other thing about Virgo is, which could be a good thing, is that this person can become a servant of the relationship. So this person can just keep on fueling the imagination and fueling the abstractness of Pisces, and just keep on not saying anything and just serving the marriage. In this way, also Virgo can manifest, in which the partner becomes a servant almost. But the moment the partner decides that I will not be serving anymore, the problem occurs. Okay. Another thing is, this marriage with respect to the partner's nature can also work if the partner is a lawyer or a doctor or a social service person, because then the Virgo energies of hypercriticalness get somewhat justified by the profession the person is in, and that critical nature does not come to the marriage. So even in that way, this position can still be justified to some extent. Okay. Now the public image of the marriage is number 9, that is Sagittarius. So that can show two things. It can show either an image which is as per the cultural norms, as per the religious norms, or if Jupiter's placement is not that great or some other anti-elements are placed, it can show an image which is absolute opposite of the cultural realities of the country or of the family, which will be justified when the marriage happens to a foreigner or to a different caste person. But there will be dogma associated with the image. There will be some dogmatic activities and some certain things which they should not be doing, which they will be doing, which the people around them could be critical of. lot will depend on the placement of Jupiter, how strong or how weak Jupiter is, and in what kind of associations Jupiter is. That will make the major difference here. Okay. So I don't want to say more about Pisces ascendant, because the more I speak, the more scary it can get for people who have this ascendant. So that is why when I did Gemini ascendant, I spoke about all the four of them in the same breath, just to give you guys an idea of it. Because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people who have Pisces ascendant will be happily married, because the placement of planets will be such that it will dilute the bad effects. So we have to look at the planetary placement, especially in these four ascendants of Gemini, Sagi, Virgo, and Pisces. The most difficult is Virgo ascendant. The ascendant which chooses not to marry is mostly Pisces or Sagittarius, for different reasons. The best out of these four is the Gemini ascendant. But the Gemini ascendant's partner is at times the problem, because that number 9, which is the sign of Dharma, falls in the 7th house. So, but this quadrant is challenging and it is difficult. We have to look at the planetary placements to give you a better idea. Similarly, the quadrant of Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius is a very happy quadrant as far as marriage goes. But bad planetary placements there can spoil it, and good placements in this quadrant of Gemini Pisces can make it better. So the planetary placements will become important. Right now, since we do not have the placements, which if we are not doing a consultation, I can only speak about the skeleton of the marriage. So the skeleton is somewhat shaky in Pisces ascendant. It will become strong if one of these events happen, that is, the marriage happens to a foreigner, to a different caste, the couple moves to a different country after marriage, or at least a different city after marriage, or if the partner of the Pisces ascendant is a doctor or a lawyer, even that can dilute the bad effects. Or if the Pisces person is an artist, even that can dilute. So these are diluting factors. Everything else can exaggerate the problems. So yeah, this is it. I think this is all I have to say about Pisces ascendant. I will be back soon with more videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.